It's based on a graphic novel, and it's basically about what would our world look like if we were taken over by, if we were ran by like a fascist government, pretty much. And what if there were these people who kind of started this like uprising to change things, you know? And the movie kind of builds this mythology, like what if books were illegal, music were illegal, everything that we think that is fun now in present day, for them in the film is taken away, stripped away. Like they're just bare bones, pretty much.
You know, they're monitored all the time.
Everything, curfew, everything. And yeah. Anyway, I don't want to take away your.
No, and there's a character in the movie called he just goes by the letter V, and he is basically a vigilante trying to take down the government, or as you would call it, I guess, a government. And my other weekly recommendation is The Warriors. Mm-hmm. I don't know what year that came out in.
Was it late 70s?
I think so.
Early, yeah.
It was like
late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, something like that. But anyways, this New York gang gets blamed for murdering a what is he,
he's basically the king of all the gangs in New York.
He gets murdered, and then a rival gang blames the Warriors
for
murdering him. Mm-hmm. And basically all the gangs go out in New York, are trying to get the Warriors, what they call themselves, and before they can get to Coney Island,
basically get to their hometown.
Yeah, because that's where they're from. Mm-hmm. And basically it's just one whole night of them trying to elude and stay alive, basically the whole night, and just get away from everybody. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. That's like top 10 films for me of all time.
Really?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Was that it? Those are your two?
Yeah.
Okay. My first one is a Netflix original show that just came out recently called Atypical.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you know what that is, but anyway, the show follows Sam, a young adult on the autism spectrum. When the idea of romance is thrown at him by his therapist, he then embarks on a journey to find someone who can accept him. This also affects his family members in various ways. The show starring Keir Gilchrist, Michael Rappaport, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. I'm not finished with the current season that they have up, but it's really good. It's really funny.
I think I watched the first 2 minutes of it, and I was like, "Holy crap! This movie! I mean, this show is hilarious."
Yeah.
So when he's talking about his therapist, and he needs to find someone to have sex with,
yeah.
Oh, that is hilarious. That is funny.
Yeah, and that kid definitely does not have autism, so his acting is so believable. Mm-hmm. You know, I really like that, and I've always liked that actor. He's in It Follows, which we just did recently. But anyway, moving on, I wanted to give a shout out to HBO's Insecure.
Ooh, okay.
Which is following two black females who happen to be best friends as they go through a series of relatable experiences that occur in our everyday life. This is starring Issa Rae, I believe her name is. And they just wrapped up their second season.
Okay, this is HBO.
Yes, it's HBO. It's a fun show. If I had to compare it to anything, I would say it's like Atlanta from the female perspective, and it might be like a tad bit raunchier.
Okay,
but I really like how they use like a lot of contemporary and underground hip hop. It's like strictly for the soundtrack.
Okay,
and that it's just so fun. Like the music itself is like it's a character of its own, and they use the music to kind of build off what the characters are feeling at that time.
That's cool.
To fill in, yeah. So it's a very like unique, like different. Like there's nothing quite like it on TV right now, and you know the episodes are very short and sweet, and I would definitely say check it out. You know, if you have HBO or if you have some way of watching it. Check it out because it is funny.
Yeah. All right.
My next and final one would be for film, and it's a movie called The Big Sick that just came out a couple months ago or last month maybe. No, a couple months ago. Anyway, it has a 98 on Rotten.
Oh damn.
By the way, Insecure has 100%.
Oh wow. Okay.
But going back to The Big Sick, it's starring Camille Nanjiani, Zoe Kazan, and Ray Romano. The movie is about an aspiring Pakistani comedian named Camille and his struggle as he realizes he wants to be with his ex-girlfriend again. The major problem is a mysterious illness leaves her in a coma, and this film is based on true events.
Okay.
It's very, very good. I would check that out if you can.
What's that called?
The Big Sick.
Big Sick. Okay.
And that. Oh yeah, and then we're gonna jump into our It.
Oh yeah, spoiler free.
Yeah, the spoiler free It.
Yeah.
Review. Do you want to go?
Yeah. First off, I want to give as a rating. Probably I'd give this movie a 9.5
out of 10.
Yes. There were some little things that made it, for me at least, not perfect.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was scary when it needed to be scary, and it was funny, and there was a lot of intense moments, I guess you could say, like, or tension-filled moments. And what did you think of the movie?
Well, I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't sure if I was going to dig it or not, to be honest, going in. I tried to keep an open mind. I thought it was a coming-of-age, late 80s horror film. I've been hearing a lot of people say, "Oh, that's not scary. It's not scary," and it's yeah, because of the there's like a heavy comedic relief.
Yeah, exactly.
But I really like that, and I feel like there's a great balance to the film that kind of reminded me of what J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek, or even The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Because I know more than one person who didn't give a shit about Star Wars until The Force Awakens, and then they love Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Just based on that film.
Yeah.
And that's what I think it is going to do for horror. I think that's going to be kind of like a... kind of like what the Monster Squad is for horror, where it's like a gateway film into other, maybe darker stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, with that being said, I would say I would give it this a 9 as well.
Okay. What did you think of the look of Pennywise compared to Tim Curry's?
Well, it's really hard to compare because that was a TV miniseries, right? And as good as Tim Curry was, and how much I respect him in that role, and I'm always going to have like a soft spot for that in my heart. You know, they didn't really have much of a budget, and you can kind of see that.
Yeah.
In throughout that, so it's hard to kind of compare the two. But I did like a lot of what they did with the new Pennywise. And I like the actor. I think Bill did a fantastic job. I thought he was very, very creepy.
Yeah.
You know, in a subtle way. Like there wasn't any scene where I could say, oh, he's trying too hard. Yeah. He's trying too hard to be creepy, you know. It all felt very natural and organic.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. What about you?
I'd have to agree with you in the sense where it's kind of hard to judge from a TV miniseries and then a movie that that has millions for a budget, which the TV miniseries, I don't know how much it had, but I'm pretty sure it didn't have 35 million for a budget. But
let me jump in real quick
Yeah.
and make like an analogy, or if that's cool. So you're familiar with the film The Shining, right?
yeah,
And how that's revealed as one of the greatest horror films of all time, pretty much, right?
yeah,
There is a TV made version of The Shining.
Okay.
You didn't know that, right?
no, I didn't.
Nobody knows that. I'm not sure why that is. I've seen it before. I watched it on TV when it aired. And it has its own bits and pieces that are good, but does it ever compare to The Shining? No. That's impossible, you know what I mean? So I feel like this reiteration of it has been long overdue.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's shining, you know what I mean? I know that's a bold fucking statement or whatever to say, but I feel like for it, like, and it being a novel, and The Shining was a novel, I feel like this film is like that TV's, if this makes sense at all, that TV miniseries, like the real it.
Okay, yeah.
We are getting it just late, like all these years later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 20-something years later.
I can
Anyway,
I can agree with that. No, yeah, but 100% respect to the original, but I do think that this Pennywise is better looking. And overall, I think is better. Bill Skarsgård, the actor who plays him, like you said, everything he does in that movie is like, it feels 100% natural and organic, and he's not forcing anything, and he's not trying too hard at any point. And the little things that he does, like his like the cockeyed that he does, that he can naturally do, and it's pretty cool. And it
And like subtle things like the drooling.
Yeah, the drooling. Yeah, just little things like that. It's crazy, and I think, I don't know. I just think that one's better.
Yeah.
But with all respect to the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing. Another thing I would say. I really like the Georgie thing.
Yeah.
In the beginning. The whole
scene.
Yeah, like that's why the whole story happens.
Yeah.
Because of what happens to Georgie. And I think in the TV miniseries, when he grabs Georgie to attack him in the storm drain, they just fade to black, and you see like his like shitty teeth or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And they fade to black, and then this one they totally they
show you a lot more.
They show you what really happens.
Yeah, which I like that they actually show you,
because it's just very vicious.
And then right off the bat you're like, holy shit, this is
It's
not the same. It's not the same. This
is going to be a ride.
Yeah,
and we're going to take it, and that's what it feels like. It's like a roller coaster ride. I would say there's scares every 10-15 minutes throughout it.
Yeah,
and this is a 2-hour and 15-minute movie.
It doesn't feel like it at all.
No, it flows well.
Yeah,
like The Dark Knight or longer movies like that.
I really like the kids in the movie.
Yes,
the casting that they did was like spot on. These guys are they're meant to play those kids.
Yeah, when you see like those the scenes with the kids make you forget that you're even watching a horror film.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of The Goonies or was Stand By Me or any of those films that make you, or even Gremlins, or what I mean, where they have build those relationships with the younger kids, and it how they captured that like kind of younger, like prepubescent, like kid, like right before they're going into puberty, like that angst that everybody feels, and that these kids are clearly going through in their own way. that's completely believable, and they keep that consistency like throughout.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just excited to see what they do with chapter 2, and if that's going to be able to live up to what they've